With everything in order, let's take a look at the starting grid. We have Valtteri Bottas on pole from Max Verstappen, only 5/100ths separate them in qualifying. Great lap from Max Verstappen, just couldn't match the pace of that Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez line up alongside. Then comes the two McLarens led by Norris. Then the two Ferraris led by Leclerc. The two Aston Martins led by Sebastian Vettel. Then comes Tsunoda, Alonso, Ocon, Raikkonen in 14th, Giovinazzi. Then comes Russell. Then comes the two Haas's led by myself. Then comes Nicholas Latifi, and Pierre Gasly lines up alongside him in last place due to an engine penalty. Now let's go down to the track. As we wait for the lights, and there they are as they all come on. We are about to get the first race of Career Mode 2021 underway. It's lights out, and away we go. Lewis Hamilton gets a horrendous start. Max Verstappen and Lando Norris are already hustling and harrying him. Down towards turn one, Pierre Gasly has lost part of his front wing and even more carbon flying and a few sparks as well. We're on the inside and go around the outside of Nikita Mazepin, our more experienced teammate, and we get past Mazepin. Both rookies in the Haas, myself and Mazepin, as we go through turn 4 now. Round the outside goes Esteban Ocon, and he gets back past us after we went down the inside of him as the two Williams, the two teammates going wheel to wheel, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi into the braking zone. Latifi and George Russell, who's going to get the better exit? It looks like Latifi has, and yes, he has, and he's gotten past George Russell, but it's Valtteri Bottas ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and Lando Norris gets past Lewis Hamilton. This man, Lance Stroll, gets a front row seat to this battle. Around the outside goes Daniel Ricciardo on Sergio Perez, and he gets past, and Perez looks to be coming into the pits, and yes, he is. He was one of the drivers that picked up damage, as well as Pierre Gasly, so he will have to switch his front wing as well. So let's see, that's where Pierre Gasly got the damage. He ran straight into the back of Nikita Mazepin and also hit Carlos Sainz, and now he right on board with Sergio Perez, and I think he just runs into the back of Lewis Hamilton, and he does, into the braking zone when Lewis moved slightly. And here was our start. We had a horrendous getaway, but we more than made up for it in the braking zones, as you can see. 3 cars getting past us. We brake early to go to the inside, and we dive it down the inside of our teammate, and we see the sparks flying from the contact between Pierre Gasly and the car in front as we swing past Nikita Mazepin and got into the slipstream of the 2 cars in front and made a worldly dive down the inside of 2 cars, but a great exit from Esteban Ocon gives him the place back. Now we ride on board with Ocon as he goes down the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi and gets past, as well as Yuki Tsunoda now hustling and harrying Leclerc into the braking zone. Leclerc's got the inside, but Yuki Tsunoda gets a great exit, and he is ahead of Leclerc and into 9th. Look at this battle. Kimi Raikkonen and also the 2 Williams going wheel to wheel on the inside. Nicholas Latifi losing positions. Around the outside goes Kimi Raikkonen, who gets past 2 cars. Lando Norris has been in 3rd place ever since lap 1, once Lewis gave him the place, having a terrible start, but now Lewis Hamilton's got back up into the podium places. Around the outside goes Kimi Raikkonen into turn 1. Nikita Mazepin on the inside nearly makes some contact with him, but he's got the inside, but Mazepin gets a great corner there, but DRS really helping Kimi Raikkonen. Down the inside goes Kimi Raikkonen, but a great exit from Nikita Mazepin in the Haas, and he gets past, and he stays ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Now Kimi Raikkonen, last time out, he couldn't get past Nikita Mazepin, but this time around, he gets past him before the braking zone. And now he's up into 14th place. And coming out of the pits, Sebastian Vettel has lost the position to Nicholas Latifi. Nicholas Latifi's teammate, George Russell, into the pits. And coming out and back onto the racetrack. Down the inside, though, goes Sebastian Vettel in on fresh medium compound tires. He gets back past Nicholas Latifi, but they're still going wheel to wheel. And yes, that tire advantage really does favor. Into the pits, the first of the front runners to come into the pits is Max Verstappen for a set of mediums. Coming out of the pits, that's the Ferrari, and Charles Leclerc getting bypassed by Sergio Perez. Out of the pits comes Lando Norris, and we are just behind Lando Norris in 5th place. There we are. We are coming into the pits now for a set of soft compound tires to try to go to the end of the Grand Prix and maybe possibly get points in our debut. But we need a perfect stop here into the pits, and they're fixing our front wing, but we hadn't even tapped our front wing. We had absolutely no damage on the indicator. We felt no damage. We had good pace, but they have swapped our front wing, and that is a very slow stop. And now we will drop positions, and where we should come out around P15, P14. Instead, we're going to come out behind our teammate Nikita Mazepin, and now we've got a whole job to fight back and claw some of these positions back. Game set to Charles Leclerc. Down the inside he goes on Yuki Tsunoda, and on the exit, Charles Leclerc gets past the AlphaTauri driver. We get a really good exit, and now we use some of our overtake. We go to the inside of Nikita Mazepin, and we get past without any contact, and that was a super move, and I am so proud of that move. That was absolutely superb. Now we ride on board with Nikita Mazepin to see us absolutely fly past. Here is the off-board camera. We used a lot of our overtake to get this move done, and it surely paid off as we absolutely fly past. We ride on board with Daniel Ricciardo going around the outside of Sebastian Vettel, who gets the better exit. It looks like Daniel Ricciardo does, but he gets a terrible corner there as Sebastian Vettel had the better line, but with DRS and slipstream, Daniel Ricciardo has the second bite of the cherry as he goes around the outside of Sebastian Vettel, and they're still wheel to wheel. Vettel just behind, but he's got the inside for the next corner, and they're still wheel to wheel. Oh my goodness, what a battle this is in the first race of the season. And they almost make some contact as they are wheel to wheel. Still, you can barely put a piece of paper between these two drivers. Round the outside goes Sebastian Vettel. Can he get this place? He gets a good exit, but Ricciardo gets a better exit, and Ricciardo is up and into 6th place. We absolutely send it down the inside of George Russell, and we get past him. He tries to fight us back, but it's no use. And now Nikita Mazepin, our teammate, can it be a double overtake for Haas as he goes down the inside? But George Russell keeps it around the outside, and George Russell just stays ahead, and Nikita Mazepin just doesn't have the talent. Now, the two Mercedes going wheel to wheel. It's lap 15. Lap 13 out of 14. On the penultimate lap, Lewis Hamilton gets past his teammate Valtteri Bottas, and the man that's been leading all race has just been sent into 2nd place. Around the outside goes Max Verstappen on the final lap. On the final quarter, Max Verstappen has just pit Valtteri Bottas for 2nd place. But just like real life, it's Sir Lewis Hamilton who wins the Bahrain Grand Prix, and just like real life, it's Max Verstappen in 2nd place. We come home for what should have been P13, P14. Instead is P16, but a pretty good debut as we beat our teammate Nikita Mazepin, as well as the two Williams. But this man, Lewis Hamilton, just like in real life, he wins the Bahrain Grand Prix.
A fantastic team effort then to secure victory here in the desert. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Lewis Hamilton wins from Max Verstappen, who started second, finishes second. Valtteri Bottas dropped 2 positions in the final 2 laps, so very unfortunate for him. He very much could have won this race. Then comes the 2 McLarens, the 2 Aston Martins. Then comes Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc. We come home 16th and 18th, which is on paper not a very great result, but to me that's very, very good because we're a lot more competitive than I originally expected us to be. So that's a good omen for the rest of the season, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.